Hello friends. For today's video, I wanted to go through a list of some upcoming releases and some announcements that have been made as of late that I'm really excited for. And this is going to include some video games, manga, anime, movies, and TV shows. So we kind of have a big mix of things, but I'm just going to jump right into it and start with the Hat Atelier anime. So many of you know I have loved Hat Atelier ever since I picked it up. The first thing, of course, that drew me in was how beautiful the art was, but I was so pleasantly surprised to find that the themes are absolutely incredible and that there's so much to it that I can't stop recommending it. I think it's absolutely amazing. I did a whole video dedicated to why I think more people should pick it up and why I think a lot of people would fall in love with it, because despite the fact that it's award-winning, I do find that it's not as hyped as a lot of other stories out there. If you've not checked it out, truly, at the very least, you're probably going to be wowed by how amazing the art and the paneling and the creativity is, but there's so much to the story that is so absolutely wonderful. Regardless, though, the trailer for the anime was released. It's kind of just a teaser trailer. There's no actual voice acting in it, or as a result of that, there's no dialogue. So it's just our main character, Coco, and her being wowed the first time she is seeing magical things. You see her as a little girl, and then you see her, she's still quite young, but you see her in the past and in the present, and you just kind of get this sneak peek of this fantasy world with really beautiful, vibrant magic. The music in the trailer alone is already incredible, and for some reason I felt like crying when I saw it. I think just that excitement that you get when you know that a story you love, it's going to have even more life breathed into it by having an additional form of the story being told, and it's just going to mean more and more people are going to fall in love with it too. I can't wait for that because I absolutely think this deserves it. I can't wait to hear the voices. I also am looking forward to maybe finally knowing how to pronounce some of the characters' names because I have no frame of reference currently. But regardless, it looks absolutely beautiful. And stupid story, I don't know if anybody's going to find this amusing, but when the trailer released, I was like walking on my treadmill and I watched it and I was like, oh, and I got so excited and emotional. And then I started again and I rewatched it so many times. And then I was just looking through the information about it and comments and seeing other people excited, but I saw that the person that has done the music for it is the same person who did the music for Elden Ring. So I'm like, are all my favorite things being combined? Are they going to give voice actors from Arcane now too? Like, I don't think that's going to happen, but I still am just so excited because there's just so much to it. I already was worried that if there was ever an anime, it wouldn't look as beautiful as the manga, and I don't think that's going to be an issue. The way that the magic is captured and the motion looks stunning, and the music's already so beautiful that I trust that this is going to come together wonderfully. I cannot wait for this anime. I believe the projected release date is early 2025, so I will be eagerly anticipating that. Even sooner than that, though, we have Arcane Season 2. I, like many people, I'm sure, as soon as I saw that reverse poster, I was also emotional about it because I'm like, oh my gosh, it's like the one from season 1, like an idiot because it's pretty obvious. But I saw that and I was devastated instantly. All the little details in the trailer, like the goggles on Vi's head, and I know there's some theories about when they released a teaser trailer way months ago, and there being questions about who is a certain being, and I'm like, I think I know who that is, and if it is who I think it is, I just know it's going to be even more heartbreak for these characters, and I can't stand the idea of it. They've been through so much. I can't wait. I'm also actually very pleasantly surprised and excited to hear that they are planning on this being the end of the story for these characters. They feel that this arc is ready to be completed after 2 seasons. And even though it's sad because I think it's absolutely wonderful and amazing, I am pleasantly surprised because it feels like nowadays when gold has been found and we actually catch that lightning in a bottle, it just feels like there is this push, especially from streaming services, to just milk things for all they're worth at the detriment of the story. And I really respect that they are deciding, no, this story is done after these 2 seasons, and then we're going to explore other stories. I believe that's their intention, that they're going to explore the stories for other characters in future shows, you could say, and maybe we'll see some overlap between the characters in what we're going to get and what we have here, and if that's the case, great. If it's totally different characters, that's fine with me too, but I just think it's so rare nowadays to see people decide, no, the final chapter is in this place, so that's when the book is going to close. I don't know if I'm ready, but I am gonna watch it as soon as I can. Switching to some manga, there's a couple of volumes that have either recently come out or will be coming out soon that I'm excited about. So Spy Family Volume 12 was just released. I have not yet had the chance to pick it up, and it's just killing me every time I see it on my coffee table. I'm like, I want to read it, because if you know, Volume 11 ends with a really intense moment, and you're like, wait, what? Hold on. And then I've wanted to be able to read further ever since I was like, what? I can't believe that's the end of Volume 11 and I don't have Volume 12 yet. And now I have Volume 12 and I'm like, I can't believe I have other things I have to do. I love Spy Family. It's already so much fun, but I have not yet quite, I think, had such an intense feeling at the end where I so badly felt I needed the next one. There've been a couple of endings to them where you're like, what's going to happen next? I think the whole arc on the ship is an example where I didn't want that to be over, but this is different. If you know, you know. And then Yona of the Dawn, Volume 42. I've certainly been enjoying this manga quite a lot. It's just kind of a very fun break between things like Attack on Titan. And it is always something that puts a smile on my face, because there is something genuinely pretty silly and fun about these characters, but also the stakes throughout the story have been raised more and more and more. You become so much more invested in Yona and her journey, but also there aren't necessarily easy answers in this, and a big reason is, if you don't know, the setup for the story is Yona has her throne taken from her. She was the heir to the throne, and the person who took the throne from her father and thus from her, they actually are doing a pretty great job of leading. So you do sort of question, even though you want her to get her throne back, especially with how it was taken, which I don't want to reveal too much of in case you don't know, but you root for her, and she's trying to gather all of these dragon warriors together to her side, and you really want her to succeed, but at the same time you're wondering, is that what would be best for the entire realm? Or would it be better if she just sort of let this person have it? And so I really like that moral conundrum in the story, and I think that as we progress throughout, it becomes clearer and clearer that this is not a story with an easy answer, and that there's not a clear good guy, bad guy necessarily. And you do also get a huge cast of characters. It's opened up a lot more. We kind of have been in the middle of an arc for a while, so I am excited to kind of continue on with that. Looking at some video games now. A trailer that was dropped not too long ago, Expedition 33. The idea for this one is that there is an individual who is a paintress, and every year she paints a number, and everybody who is of that age dies, which is a very dramatic setup for a story. It seems like there's going to be some emotional pull with this one. And I'm not gonna lie, it looks incredible, but Ben Starr is involved. He was the voice actor for Clive in Final Fantasy 16. So as soon as I heard the voice of the character in this game, I was already like, well, I'm interested, because that voice actor is incredible, and he really brings the emotion out. And I watched the trailer, and it looks incredible, and the story seems really unique and original. I can't wait to hear more as more gets released about this. And then last, we have Ballad of Antara. This one looks in some ways very similar to Souls games, which I know is kind of a thing that gets said about everything nowadays. I'm actually borderline irritated with the fact that everything gets described as Souls-like, because I'm like, well, I mean, sometimes, but not everything is a Souls game, right? I think it makes sense if you're saying it about Lies of P, but people will say that about anything, and I'm like, because you sometimes have to parry or the bosses are hard, not everything's like Souls. But anyway, so this one genuinely, though, looks like some of its bosses and the way they're designed looks inspired by Souls, and then some of the combat looks like it as well. Visually, like a lot of the other things I've talked about, it looks stunning, and it does seem like there's going to be maybe an interesting story that is more so on the surface than what you would find in Souls games. It looks like there's more of a main character that you're following and a reason for why they're doing what they're doing, but what the reasons are shrouded in mystery as of right now. But that's it for some things that I have been really excited about and that I look forward to getting around to. And there are, of course, a few things in here that won't be probably released for a while, but I'm going to kind of continue to keep my eye out on these things. If there are any additional video games, movies, manga, whatever the case may be that you're really excited about, that you want to share with other people, feel free to mention those in the comments down below. I'll have information about these things in the description bar if you'd like to reference back to them. But anyway, thanks so much for watching. I hope you have a great rest of your day, and I'll see you later. Bye.